Hey Taurus, welcome to April 2018. Happy birthday! Okay, so we're just going to get right into it. Like I said last time, I'm skipping all the editing and all that fun stuff. We are still packing to move. I'm recording this in the middle of March before we get to Mercury retrograde. I wanted to get this in before then just because during that time is usually a struggle for me. And with that being said, just a reminder that I'm closing my doors for private readings between March 22nd and the end of April. One, because of Mercury retrograde, it's always a struggle for me to do readings, to do personal readings and things like that. I can do them, it just takes longer and there's always some kind of snafu. And also because we're in the process of moving to North Carolina, so things are going to start getting kind of crazy around here. And yeah, so here we go. I'm going to get right into your reading, Taurus. It's looking like a pretty good month, so let's take a look. I'm gonna try to zoom in here. Whoa. Where are the cards? Let me just move them. Okay, so this is how they came out facing me. So I'm going to flip them around for you. And let's straighten this out because I'm kind of weird like that. Okay. Okay. So everything's upright, and that's always good. Not that reversals are bad, but you know, whatever. Okay, so we have the King of Cups, the Magician, the Temperance, which is the 14th card in the Major Arcana. We have the Chariot, which is the 7th card in the Major Arcana. And then we have the Queen of Swords. These two came out together, so I feel like they're their own little message on their own. So we're going to start here, and then we're going to go this way. The King of Cups. So seeing this card, especially after last month in March, where last month was a lot like your life in review, like going over things that, like reevaluating your life and how you got to where you are, and understanding like what does and does not work for you anymore, and you know, just being aware of that. So I guess there was a potential of getting caught up in your emotions, feeling out of balance. I think this card came up last month too, which is interesting. You know, things like that. So this card to me suggests that you've gotten into your emotions since last month. And this card, it's the King of Cups. Cups represent emotions and, you know, wateriness, intuition, things like that. When I see kings, I think like master of your domain. So then I think mastering your emotions. So the way for the King of Cups to really, the way, you know, for the King of Cups to really, you know, master his emotions, he needs to create a safe distance between him and others, basically. You can think of like the ultimate empath in that way, where, you know, any empath that is watching this can agree that when you're around certain people, you can really pick up the energy that they're putting off, you know, emotionally, you know, physically, mentally. It, you know, depends on the empath. Maybe they feel all three. But for this specifically, it's like emotionally, you may pick up stuff from others, or Being around other people is a way of distracting you from your own personal emotions. So this month you're starting out by creating that distance if you haven't already. Taurus is known for their traveling, and I feel like that is how they create that distance between others, that safe bubble. So yeah, so there's just like, reflection of, your feels this month. Observing things from a distance, and Taurus is kind of like that anyway, with what I just said. And also, it takes a long while for anyone to really get deeper with them. You have a tendency to just keep people at a safe distance anyway. Maybe it's a trust kind of thing, or wanting to have this persona of how you want people to see you versus how you really are internally, I don't know, things like that. So this card is saying that you're starting the month by creating a distance between you and others. And I believe that is for the purpose of inner reflection, or it should be. If you are creating that space between you and others, you need to take a moment and really consider why you are doing that, and allowing yourself to feel whatever it is you're feeling. Because if you just keep it in, especially if you're creating a distance from yourself, it's like creating the opportunity for you to feel your feels on your own. You know what I mean? So some people prefer to do that rather than showing that part of themselves to others. So I hope this is making sense. Just having space to really understand what it is that you're feeling, basically. So then we have the Magician. And the Magician is interesting. There's a lot of different ways to interpret the Magician, but I feel what I'm feeling for this reading is, it's like the inkling, like the beginning of an awakening period for you. So I'm sure that you've noticed a lot of people are using that phrase woke, whatever. The reason that is becoming so popular lately is because there is some truth to it, where people are waking up to the reality of their life and their world, in one way or another. Like whatever someone has created in the past as, whatever they pretended to be, whatever was fake in their lives is coming out. You're just facing the truth of yourself, who you are in this world, in this life, in this body, if that makes sense. So it's a different experience for every person. I feel like I need to be, whoa, that's really close. Okay. It's a different experience for everyone, this awakening that is going on in this world during this time. Some people, have become enlightened faster than others in certain ways. And then there's like this contrast in people, that keep their head in the sand versus, the ones that are activists or are just, creating healthier lifestyles for themselves. I hope this is making sense. So this is saying that you are at the beginning of some sort of awakening in your life, in whatever way that means for you. And we'll get into that more with the rest of this reading. But this is kind of saying, like, what do you want to pull the mask off of in your life? Like, what truths do you want to understand more deeply? This is so the 0 card in the Major Arcana can represent the ending or the beginning of the journey of, the querent, the person receiving the reading in the Major Arcana. So the Major Arcana is 0 through 21, I believe. And so there's the 0, which is like, I'm on this new adventure and everything's going to be great. And like, this is the first thing that you run into, and it's the Magician. And he's just like, okay, what is it that you want from this new adventure? What do you want to learn from this adventure? What inspiration do you want to receive in order to enlighten yourself and educate yourself, down this new path? This is the very beginning, like not even like action, but just more thought and like really contemplating on what it is that you want from your life, what it is that you want to wake yourself up to. So I see this as an awakening. Okay. So then we have the 14th card in the Major Arcana, which is Temperance. This card, I'm pretty sure, came up last month for you, and if I'm not mistaken, it came up upside down, where you're feeling out of balance, feeling uncomfortable. If you've seen other tarot decks, it's of a guy hanging upside down by one foot, which represents traitor. In the olden days, that's how they would hang somebody that was a traitor or whatever. Somebody that was going against your own beliefs and, whatever. So here we are, upright, and we're balanced. We're in the tree pose, the tree yoga pose. And it's saying, like, creating a balance in all areas of your life is going to help you along this new journey of awakening. So we're finding the balance, which is interesting because of the next card, which also suggests a balance as well. So we have creating a safe distance, almost like protecting yourself from the outside world for emotional stability, so that you can reflect on your life and decide what is it that you want to go deeper with and understand more strongly. And then from there, you are understanding that in order to continue on this path, I need to create some sort of balance in my life. And I'm hearing the word routine. I feel like I need some sort of balanced routine in my life again. Maybe you've had routines before and you've last month maybe you kind of fell out of it. So this is getting yourself back into the groove of your life so that you can continue forward with this. But I would caution, everything that you went through last month that was uncomfortable was for a reason. And, keeping that in mind as you create a new routine for yourself, and understanding that you may not be able to do exactly what you used to do routine wise, because maybe there were some things in your routine in the past that was not beneficial for you. So like reevaluating that, creating new priorities, and all of that. I'm hearing a balance in relationships, which I think ties in here. Relationships with yourself, but also I feel like with a significant other. Making sure that when you are keeping people at a safe distance, that doesn't include a significant other, as long as the relationship is healthy and that person is not abusive in any way. This is suggesting, it's good to, separate yourself every once in a while for inner reflection. Even though this isn't the Hermit, but this is just kind of the vibe that I'm getting from it. But not distancing yourself completely from the people that are important to you, like a significant other, husband, girlfriend, wife, best friend, something like that. Someone that is important in your life needs to be kept in the loop of what it is that is going on in your life, so that they can understand why you're doing the things that you're doing this month, because maybe you're doing things out of, your normal pattern. You know what I mean? So just kind of keeping them in the loop. They don't have to be fully involved, but just, making sure that they understand that you're going through something and you're working your way through it. So then we have the Chariot and the Queen of Swords. So this is basically saying, like, where is it that you want to go deeper in your life? You need to get yourself balanced so that you can, understand which way to go. So it looks like towards the end of the month there's an important decision that needs to be made here. This is the Chariot. She's on this motorcycle. She's at a fork in a road, this way or that way. And you can't go down both lanes for this next part. It's not going to work. You're not going to get very far. You need to figure out where you want to put your focus the most. And this is just basically like, usually when I am doing the cards, I'm going to go off on a little tangent here for just 1 second. Usually when I do the cards for these monthly readings, like unless someone asks specifically about a certain person, when I see single people in these cards, I see it as the person that is receiving the reading, despite it being male or female in any of these cards. So, unless there's a second or third person in the card, I always see the main character as the person that is receiving the reading. But that is just me personally. However, this time, for some reason, this one seems like an outside source for me. So it could go, so now what I'm about to say is it could go either way. So it could be saying Queen of Swords can be a little cold-hearted. Not cold-hearted, but just like blunt, very blunt in the truth that they speak. And will defend their ideas and choices, once they've been made. So it's basically saying, like, you have to separate the emotions from this decision, in order to feel confident in moving forward. So there's a potential to really just get stuck here in indecision. But it's saying you just need to step outside of your emotions and just be kind of like be harsh in your decision makings, be brutally honest in your choices. And once you have made your decision, you defend it, all the way. Because there's always a potential for other people, if you start telling people your ideas and your decisions, there's always someone that's going to want to give you their opinion that will deter you from wanting to continue forward, or make you feel like you are inferior and that your choices were not made, seriously. You know what I mean? So this is saying once you have made your decision, you defend the shit out of it, and maybe even keep some of it to yourself until you feel confident in the direction that you are going. So then when I was saying that this could be somebody else, so if you're looking for advice, it seems like you need to talk with a Gemini. This is the card of Gemini. So if there is a Gemini figure in your life, they may have some pretty good advice for you to help you make your decision. But do not put your faith and power into this Gemini. Just listen to their advice and take what you feel pertains to you, and leave the rest. Keep your own power, don't put your power into other people. But it's just saying if you need to go to someone for advice this month, a Gemini would be a good way to go. A female Gemini would be a good place to go. We have 1, 2, 3 major arcana cards in this reading this month, which for me signifies a very significant event occurring. And I believe the same thing happened last month for you, where you guys had a lot of major arcana cards. It just seems like a very significant time for you. Where last month I was saying that you were reevaluating your life and your priorities and where it is you want to go. And this month is the beginning of reinventing who you are and your direction in life. So I hope that you enjoyed this, Taurus. I hope you have a wonderful birthday. This is a fantastic gift for yourself from the universe. They are presenting you with opportunities to reinvent your life if that is something that you are looking to do. And it could be complete makeover, or it could be just any small area of your life, whether it's in love, relationships, or career, or your living situation, anything like that. But it's presenting itself to you as a way of enlightening yourself, going deeper in some aspect of your life. This is the very first inklings of really thinking through what it is you want to do and where you want to go. So this is a month of decision making for you. It doesn't seem like action, really. I mean, there is a little bit of action with decision making, but maybe it's just heeding some advice and deciding mentally where it is you want to go, but not putting those decisions into action just yet. So I'm seeing maybe that will be going into effect next month, where you start to really take the first physical steps towards a new direction in your life. Okay, Taurus, this is very exciting, and this is not to be taken lightly. So, really keep this in mind, keeping yourself balanced this month. I know that St. Patrick's Day, oh wait, no, that's in March. We're talking about April. So don't even listen to that part. But, if you're one that likes to imbibe in drinks, alcohol, things like that, just be cautious by not overdoing it and numbing yourself from your feels this month. So lots of feels at the beginning of the month. Towards the end of the month, you're kind of putting them aside so you can really make a decision. Okay, Taurus, I'm starting to ramble and say everything all over again, so I'm going to stop here. If you would like a private reading, you are going to have to wait until the end of May, probably at this point, since it is April, the end of April. So beginning of May is when I'm going to start opening that area up again for all of you. And you can go to Instagram and follow me there at the Creative Gypsy. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Thanks so much, Taurus. I hope you have a wonderful birthday month, and we'll see you in May. Take care.